Hi everybody, it's Wednesday. I recently saw a post on Tumblr that listed how long Disney's people of color protagonists spend as humans in their movies, and I wanted to talk about the issues with the treatment of these protagonists. I want to start off by reiterating that I absolutely love Disney, but I don't for a second believe that they're a perfect company, nor do I believe that their representation of any group of people is perfect. Now, Disney's been making movies for 78 years, and in those 78 years, we've gotten give or take 65 animated movies, not counting Pixar or Studio Ghibli movies. Out of those 65 animated movies, only 10 feature people of color protagonists. That means that 93.5% of Disney protagonists are either animals or they're white. This gap is frustrating on its own, but it gets worse. There's been somewhat of a trend over the last 15 years in Disney's treatment of their people of color protagonists. For a while, starting with Mowgli in 1967 through Mulan in 1998, Disney left their people of color in their true human form. No source of magic turned them into animals in order to teach them a lesson. They could learn what they needed to learn just as almost all of Disney's other characters have. Then came The Emperor's New Groove in 2000. As a kid, I didn't see a problem with Kuzco becoming a llama, and in general, I still don't. As an individual movie, it's fun and charming, and with Pacha's help, Kuzco proves himself to be not that bad of a guy. But now that I'm older, I can process the fact that Kuzco is a llama longer than he is a human. In fact, he's only a human for 10 minutes of the movie. Since 2000, Disney has only released 5 more movies with POC leads: Lilo and Stitch, The Jungle Book 2, Brother Bear, The Princess and the Frog, and Big Hero 6. Out of those, 3 characters turn into animals. Kenai, an Inuit hunter who is punished for killing a bear by being turned into one, spends 62 minutes of his movie in bear form. Tiana, Disney's first black princess, is turned into a frog after she kisses Naveen, a prince who had been turned into a frog before her. Tiana spends a total of 24 minutes of the movie as a human, and Naveen only gets 9.5. And somehow Tiana still gets to wear more dresses than any other Disney princess. Now you're probably wondering why this is even an issue. We get 7 out of 10 movies that don't include a POC lead being turned into an animal. And most, if not all, of those characters are among Disney's most cherished and popular. The problem isn't necessarily the magic turning the people of color into animals. It's that it's only happening to people of color. The last white human Disney characters to be turned into animals are Beast from Beauty and the Beast and Wart from The Sword and the Stone. That's 2 characters since 1963. In almost 52 years, we've got 2 white and 4 people of color protagonists turned into animals. By creating this imbalance in representation, Disney is, intentionally or not, perpetuating this idea that people of color have to inherently be dealt with differently in order to be taught their moral or lesson. White characters are only transformed into animals in the pursuit of knowledge, like Wart, or to be punished for being a vain 11-year-old, like Beast. I don't think that there was really a conversation where the Disney executives sat down and said to each other, all of our non-white characters must be turned into animals because that's what they really are. Racism is oftentimes more subtle than that. It's cool that Disney is making people of color protagonists and focusing on those experiences, but it doesn't count for much when we don't get to see those people as human beings. It still kind of conveys this idea that we would rather see animals than people of color. I don't think that's what Disney is trying to say, but that's what they're showing. It needs to stop, or at the very least, be evened out. But that still isn't enough for me. Hopefully Moana will start a whole new era for Disney's people of color. That's my take on the situation. Let me know what you think in the comments. You can follow me on Instagram and Tumblr and Twitter, and the Scrivener will see you next week.